Hi. I can't believe how normal this is getting. It's so funny. Um, I know Walter, I tried to turn the thing. I know my friend Walter said don't do videos with lights behind you, but okay, who cares? Just listen. Do your dishes and listen, or tidy up a room and listen to me. That way, the light won't bother you. Okay, so I'm doing a 21-day meditation and healing thing. It's supposed to end December 1st, but as a gift, I'm going till December 31st, and then starting in January, I got to figure out what I'm going to do because I don't want to stop. It's working out. I really love doing it. I get information. It's just so fun, and it's a much easier way than the one-on-one healings that I also do. Anyway, and I just love the people that get what I'm talking about. I just love the people. I mean, it's a very small group, but man, I really love to be understood. Oh my god. Okay. So I do nightly healings in this meditation group that I started, and it's on Facebook. And right now it's called 21 Day Healing and Meditation. So if you want to join, just text me. But I'm charging $11 a person. But whatever. Anyway, that doesn't matter. So when I did the healing, it wasn't last night, but it was before. It was about a person who pushes themselves too late it was a woman, pushes herself too late at night to get things done. And I felt like she might be unpacking, or I forget how I worded it, but organizing. It was organizing, unpacking, etc., something like that. And so the person that it pertained to got a hold of me. So I got to speak with her this morning. So I'm going to share with you. And so since it's a group and energy is efficient and effective in everything it does, even though it's specifically a lot of this part, the beginning of this came through for one person, it actually applies to more than that one person to differing degrees. She has, she did just move into a house, and she does need, she needed to do more than the other people that are pushing themselves too hard. Okay. And okay, yeah. Where else go? Now, I took notes, but I take them really fast because I'm channeling or whatever. I'm hearing, like the angels, and I'm just not going to pretend I'm not going to try and put it in a different way. I've heard angels since I was a tiny little girl, and I thought it was normal. And in the 70s, my mom was like, please don't tell people that because you look so strange and weird and you scare people. But then I listened to my angels tell me not to worry, everything's okay. Just don't tell your mom. And don't tell people. Make her feel better. Just don't tell anyone what we say. But now, that's all changed. And they're like, okay, do this video. Okay. So first, before I spoke with the woman, because I had to give her specific instructions. But before I talked to her, I come to center. So basically, it's just a matter of taking breaths. If you want to take 3 breaths, the physical world is usually in pairs: right, wrong, good, bad, black, white. Spirituality is usually in 3s. Okay, so I do three breaths, and so that I train my reptilian brain that 3 breaths to pull me into my center is all I need to center and ground. So 3 breaths. You can, my coach from HLC, the way they do it is they count 7 slow counts in, hold for 7, exhale for 7. Then again, inhale for 7, hold for 7, exhale for 7, and one more time. And he does it out loud. So as he inhales, he counts 7 out loud, and then you can't really count and hold, but as you exhale. So hearing your own voice as you count puts you in what's called a witness observer position. So you hear yourself putting yourself into a state of alignment. into a centered, grounded place. And it is more powerful than if you do it in your mind. Now, that doesn't really go against, I still have not done a law of attraction video, but I will at some point. That does not go against the written, spoken, and thought all have the same power, because you want to stay, in the 4 agreements. I'm going to do 4 agreements, 4 videos, 1 per agreement. There's a book called The 4 Agreements. It's here somewhere. But I'm going to introduce it better, and I'm going to do 1 at a time, because they're very rich subjects. And luckily I married somebody who's letting me paint it on the wall, because my kids are going to grow up with the 4 agreements. Every time they come out of the bathroom, it'll be the first thing they see. They're like, be impeccable with my word. Tell me something new, Mom. Okay. So for this woman, this is the information that came through prior to ever talking to this person. She doesn't live near me, and I've never met her. Okay. Times are changing. All right. Oh, wait. No, I want to start with here. Evolving. Okay, let's talk about this. Evolving is basically moving from fear toward love. That's what evolving is. If I have to boil it down into one sentence, one fast, cute little sentence that you can put on a mug or a t-shirt or a bumper sticker. Evolving is moving from fear toward love. Take the basically out. I say basically way too much. All right. In the old days, people broke into religious groups, and then they were afraid of the other groups. Okay? You still see this to this day. It's not as bad as it's played up. But anyway, the times are changing. So now we're moving toward individuality. Okay? And I've said before, irony is where the lessons are. Okay, so ironically, as we move towards individual divinity or religiousness, so instead of dressing up, and I'm not putting this down, because there are a lot of people that love church, go to church. I've gone to church. I was raised with church as a child. So I'm not putting down people who go to church. I just don't think that a lot of people that go to church are watching me right now. But I want to make it clear that I'm not putting church down at all. Okay, so the times are changing. We're moving towards individuality. Okay, moving towards individuality, getting your church from within, and realizing that, wow, I carry my church with me everywhere I go, all the time. It's always there. My divinity is always there. God is always there for me, or my spirit is always there for me. I don't need to just address it and connect with it an hour a week and put money in a plate. I can actually commune with my spirit 24/7. 24/7. And working towards that, so I call it a spirit-directed life. So that's what I'm trying to do for myself. And I've been working on doing that for myself for a long time, way before I ever made a video, is creating a spirit-directed life and listening to my spirit and allowing everything that's coming to me to be for me. So even if it hurts, even if it's painful or awful, and I called it breathing your way forward. So I've given talks. I've given talks, and I've titled it Breathing Your Way Forward. And it's just basically about, but it is basic. Basically allowing everything that's coming towards you to come towards you and saying, okay, this is happening now. Okay, this is happening now. So by connecting and strengthening our own divinity, meditating, by this, and so people are, okay, by this they mean come to center, strengthening the bond, the relationship with your higher self. Okay? And my higher self coordinates with all the other higher selves. So when I reach up through my crown chakra, my 7th crown chakra, spirituality, When I reach, this is where all my meridians come together. When I reach up through there and I connect with my higher self and I commune with that, it is now puts me in contact with all the other people who are doing that. And so more and more people are getting this, and they're coming to the connection, and so they're coming to the party. I've called it a party before. Because I've contrasted it, what we're doing, people like me, I've contrasted it with people who keep trying to fight change, people who keep resisting what's actually happening. And to me, they're hurting themselves through resistance. Because, what is happening. But I'm not going to confuse reality, call it reality, with what just happens to be happening right now. Okay, so everything we're looking at, everything we see, has already been created, right? But I can uncreate all the stuff I don't like, and then I can create bigger visions, because as I step into whatever it is that I'm growing into, as I evolve and as I grow, my visions are going to get larger, because I'm going to be like, well, there's no difference between $1 and $100. Stuff like that. Kind of like, well, I can either have a beach house for my family to use once in a while and rent it out the rest of the time, or if I get 30 acres on the ocean, I can create a huge healing center that can help millions of people, rather than just like hundreds or possibly thousands over the years. But maybe millions can like come and use. And it's like, when I was really poor, I trusted myself. So I used to be really poor. I used to live in my car. I didn't have any money. And when I was poor, I liked myself. I liked myself because I had no money. So all I did, I had a kite. It was free. I'd go to the beach and I'd fly my kite. I worked a job, but I was in so much debt. But I had to live in my car. I've said this before. I knew when they were throwing pizza away. I knew when this lady worked at Target, through learning the schedule. Target in Florida makes scrambled eggs. And so it started with 2 eggs. 2 scrambled eggs cost this much. And so when I went up to this lady, and I was like, how much is 1 scrambled egg? And I was dead serious. Like, how much is 1 scrambled egg? Because if 2 scrambled eggs was like $1 something, maybe 1 was half of that. And I could eat protein for like, less than $1. Anyway, just asking her, she was like, she got it. However, maybe she talks to angels too, whatever. But in asking how much is 1 egg, I made a friend through this woman, and she gave me like 4 eggs, Oh, God. I've been taken care of, when I needed it. People are really good, you guys. There's so many good people doing such good stuff. Oh, God, okay. So, I liked myself when I was poor because I trusted myself. And now I realize, as I get to know myself and as I strengthen my spiritual bond with my higher self, and as I live a more and more spirit-directed life, I can trust myself. So it doesn't matter if I have $5 or $50 million. I'm going to be the same person. I'm going to get an Airstream, 30 acres on the ocean, and make just the most beautiful healing center. It's not, so it doesn't depend. But, okay. You guys are used to this stuff, thank God. Okay. So as I commune with my higher self, I reach up through, and I have access to this 24/7. And then I connect with other people who are doing the same thing, and our higher selves are all connecting. And possibly there's someone who's doing that owns Airstream, and they are listening to this video, and they're learning that I want to take an Airstream and go all over the country teaching people how to meditate. Okay. So evolving is basically moving from fear towards love. In the old days, people broke into religious groups and then were often afraid of other groups. Now, please don't look backwards and think that that's still relevant and think that that's still happening. I mean, the reason that you may see that in today is November 27th, 2017. The reason that you may see that is because people are still creating that. Because they keep focusing on that past. But many of us have moved forward. It's not like it was. But the people whose minds keep focusing on, oh, there's religious groups and they hate the other religious groups and they keep banging that drum, you're the ones that are creating that now, today. You're the ones doing it. So if you don't want that to be reality, if you don't want that to be happening, stop hitting that drum. Stop singing that song. Stop telling that story. Stop trying to make that relevant. Okay? Love you though. I love you anyway. Love you, love you, love you. Okay. Now, those of us that are moving towards congruence with our higher selves, so being in alignment. Many people say it like this: I'm spiritual, not religious. Those are the people I think are watching me and getting it. And like appreciating what I have to say. People who say, well, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. They're saying, in so many words, I choose to align with my own divinity, my higher self. I trust my own experience with God, spirit, universe, whatever word you want to use, more. I trust my own higher self, my own whatever divinity is inside me. I trust that. I trust that channel of love, light. I trust that more than going to a building where a person helps me try to be more religious or spiritual. That would be a church where you put money on the plate. I'm not putting down church. I've gone to church. I used to go to a Christian Science church and sit there and meditate for the whole time. Well, I would sing songs too. And there was a man I'd sit right in front of so I could hear his voice. Oh, his voice was like, God, it was beautiful. We only sang 3 songs. But I did. I've gone to church and I've gone to a Methodist church and I got something out of that. It's fun, but I go not out of obligation. I go because I think it might be fun. Or and I had an awesome community. But whatever. Okay, evolution's happening. Evolution is going to happen, always. Paradigms shift. That's the norm. Okay, so the paradigm, this is a current paradigm. What you think you see around you. Okay, and I love the expression, it doesn't matter what you look at, it matters what you see. Because you're creating your own reality through your own perception. And if I look at my dad's recent fall as, oh, that's awful, he's doing so bad, blah, 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 I'm not helping anybody. But if I look at it like, wow, that was a pretty cool wake-up call, it could have been a lot worse. And he's now seeing what he's made of. He's now forced to face himself and figure out what his priorities are and make choices. So it's all about making choices. Choose what you think. Choose what you eat. Choose what you do with your time. Choose what you do with your money. Choose what you talk about, think about, sing about, dance about. Okay, it's all choices. So evolution's happening. Okay, paradigms shift. That is the norm. That's why calling or judging something as good hurts us, because it creates resistance to change, which is the only constant. Okay. So the video on the 4 agreements. The first agreement, I'm only going to talk about them for like a brief second. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word. And that's in alignment with the law of attraction. The second is don't take it personally. Okay? So I'm only talking about those 2 now because they're relevant to this video. Okay, if you're on a spiritual quest, raising your own vibration, whether you know it or not, if you're working with me and you're in my meditation group and you're meditating twice a day, and you're opening to receive healing every single night, and then you're checking to see what if any information came from the healing the night before, or whatever, you've already set a powerful intention to grow your spirit, to create a more spiritual, more spirit-directed life. Every time you meditate, you're raising your vibration. Every time you receive healing, you're raising your vibration. It's not always going to be huge, because if it was too big, everybody thinks they want that. They think they want these epiphanies. If you had epiphanies all the time, it would feel like the ground was giving way. Every step you took, whoa, what's going on? It would feel like you're constantly trying to walk during an earthquake. I mean, so just trust the universe. Trust your spirit has set up things in the perfect divine timing. You will have epiphanies, but you are growing. If you keep meditating, if you keep receiving healing, you are growing, but you're growing at the perfect rate. You're always exactly where you're supposed to be, doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So you hold that thought, and you hold the thought along with, I live in a perfectly evolving universe. Everything's happening in my highest best interest. That's not just a way to keep anxiety attacks away. It's also a way to create the life you want. So it's a creationary tool to stay in alignment and trust your spirit and say, okay, I trust you. I love you. I trust you. Here we go. This is what's happening now. Okay, this is what's happening now. Something broke, something spilled. I can choose to be upset by it, or I can choose to say, oh, well, my new dog I just adopted ate my favorite pair of flip-flops, except he didn't eat both. One's perfect, one's in perfect shape, and the other one is has no top to it. It's just the bottom. And they were my favorite flip-flops, and they were $8 rainbow flip-flops from a gas station in North Carolina, and I had them longer than I've been married. And so when I saw my Eaton flip-flop, I was like, okay, well, Dobby is teaching me about attachment. I was attached to those $8 flip-flops. You see, I could just pop that story out like in a moment's notice. Okay. So first agreement, be impeccable with your word. Includes law of attraction. And number 2, don't take it personally. All right. If you're on a spiritual quest, raising your own vibration in the interest of moving from love, in the interest of moving from fear toward love, please look compassionately upon those that are still trapped in the fear of the old paradigm. Please, number 2, don't take it personally. Don't hate people that are in fear. Okay? So you got sides. That's just a normal part of physical life. There's this side, there's that side. And in really bad, or people with really bad behavior, they love to create division, because division gives them power. Because if both sides connect, they'll see that they want pretty much the same exact thing, and they'll see that they are that everybody's a pretty decent person for the most part, and then they'll see that the person who's trying to create the division in the first place has really bad behavior, and that those two sides won't let them get away with it anymore. There was this exchange student in my high school, and see, I'm the luckiest person alive. I get put in places, and I hear things, and I see things, and I get access to stuff. I can ask a question legitimately in my heart and get the answer handed to me, and I can't believe that I'm the only person that this happens to. I really feel like more people can do this than are actually doing it. There's all these people that like to tell themselves this story. I'm so confused. Well, you don't need to be, but if you like that story, you can keep telling it, and it's cute, and you look cute, and you say it in a cute way, and you make people laugh by saying how confused you are. And so if you want to keep doing that, then that's fine. That's a fine way to live. I don't like to be confused. So I've just luckily figured out that I don't have to be confused. And so I can live in a way that I'm not confused. Okay, so there was this woman, girl, because we were in high school, and she was an exchange student from England. And she was just like everyone's favorite person for the first, I want to say first month at least, maybe even 2 months. People like crowded her out. And my angels were like, keep your distance, keep your distance. She was cute. She had a cool look. She had the best accent. Awesome. We all, everybody loved her. Everybody wanted to be her friend. Well, she started causing trouble that no one was. She was a pot stirrer, but not just stirring. She was creating drama. And I was at a party, and I heard her tell, there were two best friends. Well, there was a story that had happened, and then I just didn't get caught up in drama. But there was two best friends that were turned against each other, and that was going on. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. That's not fun. That's not funny. I don't like drama, so I just turned my back on that. But I did know about it. I was aware of it. Then I'm at this party, and I'm about to go probably refill my red cup from the keg, and I hear this exchange student telling another girl, I knew everybody, telling one girl that her best friend, everybody knew who was best friends, telling her that her best friend said and did stuff that she didn't really do. And I took that in, and I was like, well, that's weird. Why would I even say or do that? But again, I didn't want to get caught up in the drama. And then same party, the other friend of this best friend pairing, this BFF pair, was around. She was telling her something totally different, and I could see how she was doing it. She was telling one a story that was a lie about the other, but taking herself out, making it so that she couldn't be implemented. It was genius, but it was, bad behavior. And I was like, holy crap. She's like, evil genius. And so I wanted to keep my mouth shut. I only like to have fun and whatever. Well, it ended up turning into a fight with these two best friends at this party. And fast forward, I don't know how many red cups of beer I had, but then I felt guided to like tell them what had happened. So I just relayed exact facts, what I heard her say to her, and then what I heard her say to her, and where I was, and about, how many hours ago, whatever. And then they, the two best friends, had shared their experience with their conversations with this exchange student, with each other. And then they turned on her, and then it turned into like, everybody saw this girl for who she was, and it was cool, because the truth always comes out. But the thing is, people naturally want to love, okay? We watch a McDonald's commercial, and these are actors, and they're like making you cry. Well, maybe not now, but in the 70s, I'm telling you, the McDonald's commercials were like tearjerkers. And the 80s, actually such tearjerkers. So we have a vagus nerve in our, this was not on the script, but we all have a vagus nerve, which makes us jump into someone else's boat. When they're feeling emotional, we're like, oh, I want to help you. I want to make you feel better. Oh. So we're designed to try and help when someone's hurt. And that's why I say, there are so many good people. There are just so many good people. Love is the core of these people. And the woman who bought me gum, the woman who paid for my gum because I didn't have any money in Florida, she didn't have a ton of money. People are good. They're basically good. Most people, not all. There are people who have have made choices, or made one big choice, not to live the way I've chosen to live, and everybody who's getting me and listening to me. All right. So, now, back to the script a little bit. If you're on a spiritual quest, raising your own vibration in the interest of moving from fear, whether you think you're fearful or not, but moving towards more love, greater love, deeper love, bigger love, raising your vibration, raising. Please look compassionately upon those that are still trapped in the fear of the old paradigm. The reason that exchange student was able to manipulate so quickly, so easily, within an hour, maybe even within 2 hours, was able to control and manipulate this best friendship and rip these two girls apart who love each other deeply, is because of the fear that they hold that they aren't loved. to the degree that they want to be loved. If the two best friends could have trusted more in the fact that their best friend, the other girl, loves them beyond anything, then when they heard this bullshit line from this exchange student, they would have been able to look her in the eye and say, my friend would have never said that. You know what I mean? And that would have been the truth. But it was because, and they were totally normal teenagers. And if you're in high school right now and you're listening to me, people don't have it together like you think. Everybody's a little bit insecure, everybody. I was, popular and had a great time and invited to parties and stuff, and I was still insecure, and I was still anxious. I just learned that if you keep your mouth shut and you act like you don't give a crap about anything, then you're cool, and you can get away with most things. But anyway, back to, if the two best friends had trusted in the love from their best friend, then this exchange student could have had no effect. She couldn't have divided them. All right? So that's where a lot of people like me are coming from. It's like, let's just trust in this. And so, where is the irony? Okay. So people in the old days used to clump together in religious groups. This church, that church, that church, this church. And they would go to each other's church suppers, not at first, because there was more fear. But then as the fear lessened and the love increased, the Methodists go to the Catholic church suppers, and the churches start talking to each other and make sure they don't compete with each other so that they can go to each other's church suppers, and they put them on different nights, and they say, when's your fair? Our fair is going to be this day. Okay, we'll put our date around your date, and then so stuff like that. They instead of all having it on the same day, they were able to patronize each other. So to spread the money around, share the wealth. That's just more love, just raising love, raising the vibration. Even though they stayed in their little packs, they stayed in their little religious groups. Okay. So the irony of the way we're evolving now is people are saying, well, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. I'm more spiritual than I am religious. And what that means is I'm doing it by myself, okay? The irony is that the times are changing, the evolution is happening. We're moving towards individuality. And that means I'm doing my own church thing right here, 24/7. Instead of going once a week for an hour to put money in a plate and have someone help me be more religious or spiritual. I'm just going to do it by myself as much as I can, because this feels more, I have a deeper feeling. I'm spiritual, not religious. Okay, that's what that means. So moving toward this individuality makes a happier and healthier collective. So the irony is that we're able to connect better and be happier and healthier if we stop clumping together into groups. There's ways that could be challenged, and I would agree with the challenge. So what? Okay, so it's through identification. All right. So this is a tough concept, as you can see. So I believe religion, the purpose of religion was kind of like a raft to cross a river. And you used the raft to cross the river, but then you continue your journey. And maybe your journey, and maybe it doesn't, but maybe your journey's downhill and you can drag that raft with you for the rest of your life. So it's no big deal. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to drag this raft of whatever religion I was brought up with. I'm just going to drag it downhill. Some of us, once we cross the river, we have to go uphill, and we need to lighten our load in order to make that uphill climb. Some of us, everybody doesn't have the same path. It's totally different. But for me, once I crossed the long river, no, it was relatively short. So I was less attached to my raft of religion than a lot of people. So I barely needed the raft at all, because I could pretty much walk across. And the raft for me of religion was always more of, I gotta carry this thing. You know, it was always more of an obligation, always more of, I gotta drag this thing around with me because I don't really need it. You know? So I had a relatively dry path, a relatively dry spiritual path. So once I dragged my raft across my river, I had an easy time setting it down so that I could walk up the hill, which turned into a mountain a couple times. And when it turned into a mountain, I just had to let stuff go. I just had to put stuff down. My brother was attacked and put into a coma. I had to actually physically write a letter of forgiveness to the person that was in jail for attacking my brother because it was eating me alive. So that was a moment when my hill turned into a mountain. And I just had to put stuff down because I can't carry it all up this sheer-faced cliff, you know. So everybody's path's different, and there's a lot of people, they're clinging to their rafts of religion, and that's perfectly fine. But the irony is, in case you feel like, you know, so what I'm speaking to is there's people in our society right now who are kind of feeling alone, feeling like they don't have a tribe, feeling, where do I belong? Maybe they've lost their religion, they've lost their marriage, they've lost their job, they've lost their livelihood, they lost, so I lost, all at once I lost my mother and my, all within the same year. I lost my mother, my love, my house, my car, and my career. I was like, just kill me. Just kill me. And it's through the loss that you actually gain. There's more irony for you. And I didn't even plan that. That's not anywhere in the script. Okay. So, the irony, I love it. I love this irony that the more we just come to center and we move towards our individual movement from fear towards love, and that's our only compass. Move from fear towards love. That's our only compass. The happier, healthier, and higher vibration our collective has. So by doing your own work, you're actually raising the vibration of yourself and everyone else. It's just so awesome. But look compassionately upon those that are still trapped in the fear of the old paradigm. Please don't take it personally, number 2 of the 4 agreements. Please don't take it personally. Don't hate people that are in fear. Please. I'm asking nicely. Please don't hate the people that are in fear. It brings you into their drama. It lowers your vibration. And it devolves you. It takes you in the direction you're trying to move away from. You know, you're trying to gently move towards love. If you get mad at or hate or have any feelings other than love towards the people who are still in that old paradigm, they're trapped. Some people call them sleeping. Some people call them unconscious, which is fine, however you want to describe it. But how are you describing it? What's your intention? What's in your heart when you're saying those people are sleeping? Are you hateful about it, or are you compassionate about it? Compassion is not pity. Compassion is love plus understanding. Love plus understanding is totally different than a pity vibe. A pity vibe is like negative. It makes you superior. It's just another face of the ego. But true compassion, love plus understanding, allow those people their fear. You know, be compassionate. Look gently upon them, but forgive them. So, okay, I'm just asking. And, you know, it helps them, it helps you, it helps the whole collective. It helps you move towards love if you can look back at the people with love and allow them their fear. It's not what you would want to choose, but it's part of the contrast. I talked about this before, and this is going to be in the Law of Attraction video that I still have not made, but when you see people doing things, behaviors that you don't like, don't hate them, but enjoy the contrast. They're showing you, oh, you don't want to act like this. That's just the contrast. Don't get absorbed in it. Don't get wrapped up in it, because now you're in it. You're putting yourself in that drama. You're lowering your vibration. You're going right back into that crap, that swamp that you're trying to leave. You're trying to leave the swamp. You have to do it with love. Everything is done in love with love. It's the only way it works. The only way that it ever works is to look upon those fearful people with love so that you can move gently forward in your life. All right. Okay. So for a while now, the videos, I started making these videos because I felt pushed to. I didn't really want to, so you can tell that in the beginning videos. And now you can tell I'm fine with it. So I've been getting pushed to soften to your life, like everything. I have 5 dogs, so that's easy, right? So my 5 rescue animals that are so grateful for the fireplace and the couch that I let them sit on that they're not supposed to, and the love that they get, they make it easy for me to soften. But then when my kids behave in a way that I don't want them to, then I can get hard. I can get hard easily, quickly. So I'm working on softening to life, and that includes, so what I'm trying to do, so when I wash dishes, I try and do it softly. When I when I make tea, I try and make it softly. Stuff like that. So I'm trying to soften to my life. So basically taking the energy of the way I love my 5 rescue dogs. They love me and I love them, and it's so easy. I love that energy. People used to, one of my old friends used to say, they said, why do you have so many dogs? I'm like, why are you on Facebook? I get way more out of my dogs than anybody gets out of Facebook, because I must say, I love you. I love you. I must say I love you 1,000 times a day because of these dogs. And that I just say it. And so when I say it, I create it. Oh, and it becomes who I am. And it's like, oh God, I love my dogs. Oh, so I take that energy, love for my dogs. I just love them. Oh, and my voice changes and I talk in a completely different language to my dog. And I want to take that energy and apply it to my children when they're behaving the worst possible behavior. Okay, so there's been, and I've felt it, and I think a lot of healers have, there's been a cosmic energy moving through the last couple of years to help us evolve as a group. Like, we're not evolving quick enough. Technology came through. I feel like a big part of technology was meant to help us focus on, our own spirituality, our own, help us get chores done quicker. And I think to some extent it backfired in the way that people have created addiction out of technology, rather than so folding clothes without television, washing dishes without being able to watch videos and stuff. Used to be kind of like a meditation, and people had there wasn't enough time to fight, really. They had too many chores to do, so people got along. And people used to never talk about money, sex, politics, and religion. Something like that. Those topics were off limits, because those topics create division, and people did not have time for drama. They just didn't have time. Before cars, before technology, there wasn't time. So everybody worked together. So they took 4 topics that seemed to create division, and they said, these, in this paradigm, at this moment, these are off the table. These are off limits. No one talks about this. But the generations coming in now, and boundaries have changed a lot. Look what people post. Look what some people post on Facebook. So it's fine, but it just points out there's a big boundary shift going on, and the whole we don't talk about money, religion, politics, and stuff. That's out the window now with these generations that are being born. This is evolution, and it looks scary to a lot of people who are not ready to evolve, and it looks like, oh, it's the wrong direction to people who want to stay. That's what this video is actually about. Okay, so this energy has been moving through the last couple of years to help us evolve. It's like those of us with a desire to connect to our higher selves have surfboards, and we're ready, like we're all in the ocean. Like we're all in the ocean all the time. And those of us that have the desire to connect to our higher selves, the spiritually based people, spirit-based people, we have surfboards, and we're ready. We're ready for this cosmic energy to give us a push in the direction. We're ready to move towards evolution. But there are people who are in the same ocean who want to stay where they are. They want to stay in the paradigm that was already created, and they want things to stay the way it is. They don't want to know. They don't want to know. La 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 la. They don't want to know what's actually happening in the world. Things that are actually happening that in my mind, I acknowledge that's happening, but also I see a future in which the people committing heinous acts are held accountable and those heinous acts are stopped completely. So I hold the vision of that world where, and that's why I just say, just pray for all the children in the world to be healthy, happy, and safe. If we all, just pray for all the people in the world to be, all the children, whatever you can do, children, women, all people. If you just pray, ask for all the children, like the basic thing. And I said in one video, if you only want to pray for white children, I'll take it. If you only want to pray for black children, I'll take it. If you only want to pray for Muslim children, I'll take it. Just pray for the health, happiness, and safety of all the children that you have in your heart easily. And then you can extend from there. Maybe you can push to more children, or all the children, or maybe all the children and all the women, or all the children and all the women. All the people. So at some point, hopefully, you can push into the space of, I can pray for the whole world. I can pray for everybody. I can wish for the health, safety, and happiness for all people. So that's the end game for a lot of us. All right. So I have a surfboard. All right. For the people who don't have surfboards, who want to stay where they are, they don't have surfboards. As things change these days, things are changing. The paradigm is shifting. Those people are hurting. And you could see that in the collective tantrums that you've seen. Collective tantrums. And those kinds of people often confuse their opinions with facts. Please, I'm talking to the people who consider themselves spiritual and not religious. Please, as you raise your own vibration and you evolve towards love, please forgive all and look upon the people who don't want to evolve with compassion, not pity. Pity is such a negative vibration. So please, as you raise your own vibration, as you make your own way, your own individual way towards communing with your higher self, carrying your church around with you 24/7, as you move from fear towards love, please, more and more and more, as much as you can, forgive all. Forgive everyone. You don't have to, I'm not asking you to love everyone, because I know that's difficult, but just start with forgive. Just know that whatever you don't forgive attaches you to them. It's like a rope where you're dragging them along and they're pulling the other direction. So you're not going where you're not getting where you could get. Okay. Love plus understanding. Okay. Forgiving and loving. So I teach my kids, and I teach my meditation kids, that it's your job to love every human being. As a human being, your main job, your main purpose is to love every other human being on the planet. How many people rolled their eyes right there? Okay, the thing is, though, you don't have to be around those people. Okay, you just have to love them. So if their behavior disturbs you or bothers you or makes you hate them, if you feel like you hate them, until you feel like you're ready to do the work that exists there, because we hate in others what we deny in ourselves. If you're not going to do the work, just move your body away from those people. And some people you need to stay away from permanently and not hear them anymore and not see them anymore, and you can love them, farther away. Some people you love like this, and some people you love like you almost don't exist anymore. So the more you can love people, the more you can forgive, the more you disconnect from toxicity, and the more you cut the cords that hold you back from where you're trying to go. So imagine like being an oxen and like cutting off. You just want to run through the field. You just want to run through the field. You don't want to drag some stupid plow with some big fat farmer with like bags and bags of freaking seeds. I mean, it just slows you down. You're a big oxen and you're strong and the wind is just perfect and the sun's in your face and it's a beautiful day. You just want to run through the field. Don't want to be saddled with any of that crap. It's so you can cut that big fat farmer on that sleigh with all those seeds loose. Oh, just run in the sun. And the way you do that is by forgiving and loving. All right, so I'm asking you to do that, please. All right, so one of my favorite ironies that exists right now, and I just saw it yesterday or today, is the sign that people have, and they feel so good when they put it out. Hate has no home here. Okay, you've made hate the subject of your sentence. Now, hate has no home here, or love lives here. You save yourself 2 syllables if you make love the subject of your sentence. Love lives here. So the people who have signs and the people who say hate has no home here, they're talking about hate, and they're hateful. And I did do a Roger Waters concert. Okay, and I got to watch. I spoke in a video about Roger Waters from Pink Floyd. He was from Pink Floyd. If you don't know, I don't know who you are if you don't know who Roger Waters is or who Pink Floyd is, but congratulations. That's some serious amount of staying out of the mainstream. But I spoke in a video about Roger Waters from Pink Floyd's full-blown adult temper tantrum that I paid $200 a ticket to experience. So much hatred pouring out on stage that I got to pay $400 for because I brought my son. Holy crap. Thinking that it's love. So there's all these people believing that this hatred that's pouring out is love. And this is what I think is super sad. And this is why I do more videos than I ever have before, is because I hope that people really understand. And there's a huge difference between love and shared hatred. Shared hatred feels like love to the ego because there's a big chunk of people believing the same thing. And you all love each other, you feel like you love each other. But what you love is that you're all hating the same thing, which makes you better than that thing. And not just that thing, but anyone who believes in that thing. And that divides you. So that's all ego-based. Because it puts us against them. And that's all hateful. And that's all the duality of the physical world. So that has nothing to do with love. Nothing at all. Love is its own thing. When you say hate has no home here, you're connecting with other people who make hate their subject that they talk about, think about, speak about, read about, post about. Hate, hate, hate. They keep beating that drum. Wondering why things aren't moving towards love. Well, it's because of you people. You're creating, with your words, you're creating more hate, more division. Hate has no home here. Actually, it does. The irony is that hate lives you. Hate lives right there. This is where hate lives. A sign that says hate has no home here. The irony is that's where hate lives. Because you could say love lives here. And it actually sounds better. It feels better. Has a higher vibration. It resonates higher. But where are those signs? Put those signs out. See how you feel. See how the world changes. If everybody who had a hate has no home here sign switched their signs to love lives here, and they read it every time they left their driveway and came into their driveway, you'd see the world shift. It'll be slow, because they still have hateful thoughts, and they're still reading hateful things, and they're still posting hateful things on Facebook, and they're still in a version of hate. But even just switching the signs, anything that they can do is going to make a change. Okay. All right. So basically, I swim with the tide. I have my surfboard, okay? And all the people like me who we are focused on our spiritual evolution. We're evolving. Not trying, because trying is not doing, but we are evolving from fear towards love, more love. How can I bring more love? And how can I do? So these people like me, we have surfboards in the ocean that is reality, or the paradigm, because it's constantly shifting, it's constantly moving. If I have a surfboard, I'm going to do a lot better. I'm going to have it a lot easier than the people without surfboards. Okay? It's not that I won't commit to something like a political party choice or something. I make and I keep a clear distinction between what is happening now, right now, and where I want to go, what I want to create, what I want to manifest, right? So whatever's happening now is just, it's happening now. Whatever I have created now, whatever I see now, was created from seeds that I planted a long time ago. Do I like it? What do I like? What do I not like? What do I want to change? Okay, well now I need to plant, right? So right now, I'm planting new seeds for what I want to see created, manifested in my next, in another paradigm, in a reality that's coming. The one that is just, it's here, it's happening. I mean, it's already here. I just don't see it yet. But I choose to believe that it is a reality, that I do have millions of dollars to create the most incredible healing center anyone's ever seen right on the ocean. It's already a reality because I saw it already. You know, I can see it already. All right. So committing to something, when people identify as, you know, this or that or whatever, they're holding themselves in a place in the ocean and they're giving up their surfboard. Okay. I work at not getting caught up in confusing the current paradigm with reality. And in this way, I stay relevant to myself. So I stay relevant to myself. That's my thing. Spirit-directed life. I always want to stay relevant to myself. What does that mean? Well, I was talking to my aunt and uncle on Thanksgiving evening, and I said, you know, I embrace change because of what I had just gone through that was very, very challenging. I had an eagle actually fly over me, like circle over me, like a couple times, 3 times. And I was like, oh my God, man, it's just amazing. Like right after things started to get easier, that's what happened. Anyway, and then I read what eagle means. It's very cool. Okay. So I stay relevant to myself. And we have 2 people in our family that, one person that doesn't get along with another person, let's just say. Okay. And I had that situation with my husband's family, but I didn't burn the bridge. I allowed a path back to me just by speaking truth, not name calling, whatever. And the situation resolved within a matter of a couple of months. And I ended up telling that person, you know, easily, I love you. Because that's all that person needs. And now everything's fine. Okay. So I stay relevant to myself and others who resonate with the truth. By keeping my focus on my spirit-directed life, I consistently stay with the tides of change. I stay relevant. Okay, good. All right, so Roger Waters, he used to be extremely relevant. Not in a nostalgic way like he is now. He's still, and always probably to some extent, will be nostalgically relevant. But he's no longer relevant like he was in the 70s when he was one of the shifters of the paradigm. He played a huge role in shifting the paradigm in the 1970s and even in the 80s. It was good for everyone. The music he's created, in my opinion, is off the chart amazing, powerful. His tantrum, though, shows that he doesn't have a surfboard. In wanting to stay relevant in the eyes of others, your surfboard gets taken away. In wanting and desiring to stay relevant with yourself, you strengthen your own connection with your higher self, your own divinity. You stay in alignment in a spirit-directed life. You get handed a surfboard and life gets easier. That is how it is. So it is. I love all of you who get what I am. I say I am at the center of my vortex, which is a law of attraction thing. I love all of you who get what I am saying, but I am staying relevant to myself in my spirit-directed life. That is my priority. In taking care of myself and staying true to myself, staying in alignment with my soul, my spirit as often as possible, I can give the most to the people who can hear what I am, again, center of the vortex, saying. channeling, getting. I'm not saying any of the things I say for you guys, even though I love you. And I love Roger Waters too. I just don't deal with his toxicity. But I'm not saying any of the things I say for you guys, even though I love you. I'm just getting the words out of me. I'm just getting this out of me. Constantly clearing my channel to make more room for love. More room for love. More room. More love, more room. I'm putting my own oxygen mask on right in front of you so that you can see how I do it. And I trust in your abilities to put on your own oxygen mask. I believe in you. Loving, powerful you. I love you. I love you. I love you.